Welcome to NTSC's 5 and 5, where I, Ashwin Krishnan, host amazing CISOs and stand out in ISEC. Today, my guest is Curley Henry, VP and Deputy CISO at the Southern Company. Questions to him: multiple articles every day about cyber talent shortage. How does he feel we need to deal with the cyber talent acquisition? Ransomware continues to evolve. What are the things a CISO needs to do today to mitigate this threat? How has his role as a CISO evolved over the years? And two personal questions related to books. Watch on. So, Curly, with all this talk about cyber talent shortage in cybersecurity, what, in your opinion, should CISOs do to attack this problem differently?
I think the fundamental thing that we need to do is look in different places than we traditionally have looked. Two things come to mind for me. There's a Women in Technology has a program called the Single Mother Cyber Program, where they're taking single mothers through a program for 12 weeks, getting them acclimated to the who, what, when, why, and how of cyber, and then partnering with Fortune 500 companies to give them access to the talent who's now had some training, but also giving access to those who have been underrepresented and haven't had the opportunity up to this point. The last one is a program called Cyber Millions that Immersive Labs has introduced, where you're giving people hands-on training and skills to cyber, ensuring that when they show up, they don't just know theory, but they know how to do and what to do when they show up for a job interview.
On the topic of ransomware, it continues to evolve. So, again, from your perspective, what tips do you have to actually mitigate this threat given its growing footprint?
Yeah, I'm pleased to know that our government is partnering with other governments around the world to become more engaged in essentially attacking the foundation of where ransomware is coming from, the backend systems, the financial arms, and so on and so forth. And so that's a part of it. I'm hopeful that our government will continue to do more, both of the things that they're announcing so people are aware, but the things that they aren't announcing. The other is we've just got to be more prepared. We've got to understand that it's not an if, but a when. And if, when it happens, how can we lower the blast rate? So the biggest thing that I focus in on is making sure that we've got segmentation in place. So if something happens, it doesn't attack the whole. And then ensuring that our business partners are focused in on how do we recover and how do we recover quickly.
So, on the topic of your own journey, if you look in the rearview mirror, how has your role as a CISO evolved over the past couple of years?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that's happening today with CISOs is that we're growing up now, right? We're getting a full seat at the table. And years ago, we were the technical person focused on cyber. And so we lived in the shadows of IT, we lived in the shadows of applications, but more and more cyber risk is business risk. More and more companies are seeing it as a top 2 or top 3 risk. So we've got to be able to speak the language of the business, not just the language of cyber. If we're going to be able to ensure that our voices are heard, but the businesses are very well understanding that the risk that's occurring now is bigger and broader than something that's just technical or IT.
So, what's the last business book you've read, and what are some of the takeaways for you from that?
I have a habit of answering questions in twos. So I'm going to give you two books. The first is Think Again by Adam Grant, and What Got You Here Won't Get You There. So I tie both of those books in because while coming from different perspectives and focused on different things, there's a similar message between both of them. One is about being humble. There's a level of humility that you have to be able to continue to grow and to continue to learn. The second is around learning, and you've got to be willing to listen if you're going to continue to learn. In both instances, Think Again is about making sure that you're not so set in to what it is that you're doing and how you're doing and what you believe that you can't change. It's the same thing with What Got You Here Won't Get You There. Sometimes we need to change in ways that help us move forward.
And last question on book. What book are you reading right now, and what are some of the key takeaways for you?
Ooh, so books that I'm reading right now, I'll go to two books. This Is How They Tell Me the World Ends. I know, great title, right? And then Wireless Wars. And so the two things about these books is that they go back and they tell you how we've gotten here. On Wireless Wars, it tells you how we got here from a 5G perspective and what it's going to look like in the future and things that we need to be aware of. On This Is How They Tell Me the World Ends, it tells you about how some of the cyber underground has come about, some of how that's worked with from a government perspective, and the things that we need to be cognizant for.